Assalamualaikum students. Tell me students, the fruits which is in the picture appear to be good to eat, isn't it? So, the foodstuffs we consume must be of the best quality. Otherwise, we may fall prey to disease or illness. So, food safety come first for better health. So, we should cook proper temperature, do not cross contaminate, wash hands and surfaces often while preparing some food, and refrigerate properly. So, give no chance to bacteria. Students, your fifth chapter in science for standard 7 is food safety. Let us start. All constituents of food are what? Carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fibers, and water are necessary for the proper growth of the body. We get these nutrients from food materials like wheat, jowar, pulses, rice, vegetables, fruits, etc. However, what will happen if these food materials are infested by insect or spoil in any way? Let us understand, students, what is food spoilage. Food spoilage is defined as damage or injury to food, rendering it unsuitable for human consumptions. Food must be considered spoiled if it is contaminated with pathogenic microorganism or various poisonous agents such as pesticides, heavy metals, etc. Now we see, students, the major causes of food spoilage, or we can say factor responsible for food spoilage. First is growth and activities of microorganisms, bacteria, yeast and molds. Second, activities of inherent food enzymes. Third, insect, parasites and rodents. Fourth, temperature effects, high or low. Fifth, moisture or dryness. Sixth, oxygen, and last is light. Students, various kinds of changes occur in food materials as you see in the picture. For example, fruits turn black or change taste, meat becomes sour or peanuts become rancid. All these changes occur due to factors within the food material. Often, food grains etc. produced in farms are damaged due to various reasons like improper handling, improper storage, improper transportation, etc. So, how and where is food wasted? In India, with the help of science and technology, has shown great progress in the production of various foodstuffs like cereals, fruits, vegetables, fish, as well as milk and milk products. Even so, many people in our country and all over the world face the problem of hunger. Many do not get even one meal a day, hence, it is our duty to prevent wastage of food wherever it takes place. Students, there are two types of wastage of food. First is quantitative wastage of food. Wrong methods of farming like hand sowing of seeds, inadequate threshing, improper storage, and wrong methods of distribution are some reasons for quantitative wastage of food. Besides, much food is wasted as a result of the custom of offering and serving too much food to guests and traditional feasts or banquets. Had it not been wasted, all this food could have met the need of many others. Isn't it? Now, the second one is qualitative wastage of food. Using wrong method of protecting food, excessive use of food preservatives, overcooking, washing the vegetables after cutting them, mishandling of fruits like grapes and mangoes, miscalculation of the time required to transport food from producers to consumers are some of the causes of qualitative wastage of food. Now, what can we do to prevent food wastage and spoilage? First, serve yourself. only as much you can eat. Second, avoid overcooking. Third, buy only as much as you want. Fourth, store grains and other foodstuffs using proper methods. And fifth, check expiry dates. Now, we will learn about food storage and preservation. We have learned about various methods of safe storage of food like freezing, drying, boiling, airtight packaging, etc. These different methods prevent the growth of microorganisms in food and thereby save the food from spoiling. Now, food protection and food preservation. What is food protection? Prevention of food spoilage by microbial growth and infestation by pest is called food protection. And food preservation, use of various preservatives to prevent for a long period of time food spoilage due to internal factor is called food preservation. Students, let us see one short clip about why food safety is important.
Bacteria are everywhere. Where, you might ask? They can be found in the air, in water, in soil, and even on humans. Whoa, don't worry. Most bacteria are harmless. In fact, many are beneficial to us, such as those used to make fermented foods, like soy sauce, cheese, and pickles. However, not all bacteria are beneficial to us. For example, some cause food to spoil, become sticky and viscous. It is not wise to serve spoiled food to your customers. A small number of bacteria are harmful and can cause food-borne illness. Harmful bacteria grow on potentially hazardous food. Examples of potentially hazardous foods are meat, milk, cooked vegetables, cooked rice, poultry, and seafood. Bacteria are too small to see with your eyes, or even with glasses. About 400 million bacteria clumped together would be the size of a grain of sugar. Because you cannot tell if bacteria are on food by seeing, smelling, or tasting it, food must always be handled safely from the time it is received until the time it is served. When bacteria grow, they increase in numbers, not size. Under ideal conditions, the number of bacteria can double every 30 minutes. Ideal conditions means when a potentially hazardous food is held between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 4 hours. For example, if you start with 10 bacteria, after 4 hours, there can be as many as 5,000 bacteria in a food. Some types of bacteria form toxins or poisons. Not all toxins are destroyed during cooking. Therefore, if food is in the temperature danger zone between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit for too long and toxins form, cooking or reheating to proper temperatures will not necessarily make the food safe to eat. The bacteria may be killed, but the toxins will remain. What can be done? Well, the best way to control bacteria is to promote good hygiene, allow only healthy workers to prepare food, and be sure to have all workers wash their hands properly and frequently. Prevent cross-contamination, store foods properly, and only use clean and sanitized utensils. Keep potentially hazardous foods hot, 135 degrees Fahrenheit or hotter. must be kept hot, 135 degrees Fahrenheit or hotter, or cold, 41 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. And remember, foodborne illness is nearly 100% preventable if food is handled safely in your restaurant.
Students, this is the end of your first part of chapter. Have a good day. Thank you.